Hello and welcome to the channel Neville Goddard. As you think in your heart, so you are. All is yours. Do not go seeking for that which you are. Appropriate it, claim it, assume it. Everything depends upon your concept of yourself. That which you do not claim as true of yourself cannot be realized by you. The promise is, whosoever hath, to him it shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whosoever hath not, from him shall be taken away, even that which he seemed to have. Hold fast in your imagination to all that is lovely and of good report, for the lovely and the good are essential in your life if it is to be worthwhile. Assume it. You do this by imagining that you already are what you want to be, and already have what you want to have. As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Be still, and know that you are that which you desire to be, and you will never have to search for it. In spite of your appearance of freedom of action, you obey, as everything else does, the law of assumption. Whatever you might think of the question of free will, the truth is your experiences throughout your life are determined by your assumptions, whether conscious or unconscious. An assumption builds a bridge of incidents that lead inevitably to the fulfillment of itself. Man believes the future to be natural development of the past, but the law of assumption clearly shows that this is not the case. Your assumption places you psychologically where you are not physically. Then your senses pull you back from where you were psychologically to where you are physically. It is these psychological forward motions that produce your physical forward motions in time. Precognition permeates all the scriptures of the world. In my Father's house are many mansions. If it were not so, I would have told you. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you might be also. And know I have told you before it came to pass, that when it is come to pass, ye might believe. John chapter 14, verse 2, 3, and 29. The I in this quotation is your imagination, which goes into the future, into one of the many mansions. Mansion is the state desired. Telling of an event before it occurs physically is simply feeling yourself into the state desired until it has the tones of reality. You go and prepare a place for yourself by imagining yourself into the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Then you speed from the state of the wish fulfilled, where you have not been physically, back to where you were physically a moment ago. Then, with an irresistible forward movement, you move forward across a series of events to the physical realization of your wish fulfilled. That where you have been in imagination, there you will be in the flesh also.
Hello guys, here is another video I'd like to share with you an interesting part in this chapter of this book. You know, just before expecting something to come into your life, you need to know that you must first implement an idea into your mind, into your subconscious. You need to sow a seed in order to reap. That's why we are told, what you sow, you shall also reap. First you need to pray, or as there is said, you need to visualize the wish fulfilled before getting it into your life. First, implement the idea into your subconscious, then, believing it, let the subconscious bring it to you. Let's now jump into this interesting part. Whatever you suggest with confidence, is law to the subjective mind. It is under obligation to objectify that which you mentally affirm. Not only does the subject execute the state affirmed, but he does it as though the decision had come of itself, or the idea had originated by him. Control of the subconscious is dominion over all. Each state obeys one mind's control. Control of the subconscious is accomplished through control of your beliefs, which in turn is the all-potent factor in the visible states. Imagination and faith are the secrets of creation. Okay guys, I just wanted to share this beautiful quote with you and remind you these gems. Don't forget to implement an idea into your subconscious mind and wait it confidently to come into your life. Thanks for watching.
So we are told in the psalm, be angry, but sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed, and be silent. Yes, blow your top, but do not let the sun go down upon your anger. Be silent as you commune with self. You don't commune with another, for the self of man is God. So be angry, but sin not. Commune with your own heart upon your bed. Not communing with another, and then you actually know exactly what you want. And in that state, fall asleep. And in a way that no one knows, and you, in your surface mind, you do not know, it will all come to pass. Everything in the world is created this way, but man does not know it. Who knows tonight who is treading the winepress that is going to cause a change of mind in tomorrow's world? But when they do it, they are intense in the doing it. If you are lukewarm, you're told in Scripture, I'll spew you out. Would that you're either hot or cold. But because that you are lukewarm, I will spew you out. You can't do anything if you're lukewarm. You must be intense about it. You want to be rich? All right, can be rich. You want to be known? You can be known. No matter what you want, but you must be intense about it. And then commune with your own heart upon your bed, and then let it drop. You'll read that in the 4th Psalm, the Psalm of David. So I say to everyone here, believe me, your own wonderful I amness, your consciousness, your wonderful human imagination, that is God. And all that you behold, though it appears without, it is within, in your imagination, of which this world of mortality is but a shadow. So you can change the shadow if you change the object, for you are the light. He said, I am the light of the world. Change the object that you're holding within yourself and identifying yourself with it. Change that object, you're light enough, and you'll cast a new shadow upon the world. So you say, I am, and you name it. And then you say, I am unemployed. No, I am gainfully employed. Making more than I've ever made before. Don't ask yourself how, why, and through whom. That is not your conscious reasoning mind's concern. If you take the intellectual background, the educational background of those who are making top money in the theatrical world, I doubt that they could pass any college examination. I don't think they could pass any entrance examination to college. Yet they're making $1 million, $2 million a year. Do you think Bob Hope could pass today's examination for entrance into college? Well, all of his material is written for him anyway. Can't even write that. But he has millions, all right, because that's how he's dreamt. May I tell you? I know the background of the man. That was his goal in life. If that's your goal, have it. I speak of another goal. The goal of awakening to who we are. When man awakens from this dream, the whole vast world and all that it contains is as nothing to the being that you are. You came down from heaven, where the whole is yours. As you're told in the 50th Psalm, if I were hungry, I wouldn't tell you, for the world is mine, and all within it. The cattle on 1,000 hills are mine. So why should I tell anyone of my need when it's all mine anyway? I would slay and eat.
Hello and welcome to the channel Neville Goddard. Today we are going to show you how to climb a ladder. This is one of the most and best exercises and techniques to learn and to try yourself, so you can manifest anything you want in life. Neville said something to do to a group of people who went to listen to him. He gave something to do to them to prove that he is wrong or not. Neville said to them, I will teach you right now how to climb a ladder, and do it to prove it if I'm wrong or not. And he said to the people who went to his teachings, do what I'm telling you to do, and if it doesn't work, then I'm a fraud. And then he started to tell them how to climb the ladder. This is the way how you climb a ladder. First of all, right now, picture a ladder in front of you. Picture it. You can do it using your wonderful human imagination. Close your eyes and picture it. Take your imaginary left hand, reach out and take hold of the side of the ladder. So you do it with your imaginary left hand. Okay. Now with your imaginary right hand, reach out and take the other side of the ladder. Now with your imaginary left foot, lift it up and put it in the first rung, and now push yourself up and start climbing the ladder. When you get to the top of the ladder, climb back down, then climb back up and climb back down. You repeat this often, and as you do this often and daily, you try to create a feeling as this is already fulfilled. Now you have to do something, and you must do this, otherwise nothing I'm teaching you will work. You have to put inside your wallet, so when you open your wallet, you have to read it. I will not climb a ladder. You do it in the mirror, so you see it when you wake up in the morning. You gotta do it in the phone or laptop as a wallpaper, where you read it, I will not climb a ladder. So Neville said to his students, you must do this, otherwise what I'm teaching you will not mean anything. You must do this. You must mean it in your heart that I will not climb a ladder, so you mean it. You do this so you can prove yourself that whatever you say all day will not have any effect if you do it and feel it before sleep. And now you must do this for 3 nights. I want you to climb a ladder for 3 nights before sleep. But if it doesn't work, you don't stop. You do it for another 3 nights until it works. Now when you go to bed, go in a position you don't normally sleep. So you force yourself to imagine and not fall asleep immediately. If you slept before in the right side, now you sleep in your left side. If you slept in your left, then now sleep on your back. Then you got to climb a ladder while you are in an odd position in bed and in a drowsy, sleepy state. You have to climb the ladder until you sleep. And you do this for 3 nights. And when you wake up in the morning, you got to read it, I will not climb a ladder. And make sure it's something you see every day. I will not climb a ladder, but you got to climb the ladder in your sleep for 3 nights. Before sleep you gotta climb the ladder. So you got to do this, otherwise nothing I'm teaching you will work. And now Neville said to his students, next Sunday I'm gonna have another meeting, like this one. But that meeting will be only for those who have climbed the ladder. So those who climb the ladder can go to the next meeting. And now one of the Neville students who told this story, Locker, climbed the ladder and went to the meeting, and all of those who climbed the ladder. Of course there was so much fewer people than those who weren't first in the teachings. What Neville said to them was this: now listen. As how you climbed the ladder, you could have just as easily made millions in cash. Not only money, but anything else that you want to have in your life and want to manifest. So now, what I say to all of you is, take all of you this challenge of Neville and climb a ladder in your imagination for 3 nights or more. For those of you who climb the ladder, please post here in the comment section your successful stories so that you can inspire others with your successful stories and may inspire and motivate others so they can also climb the ladder. You can post your successful stories below in this video in the comment section. Also, you can send them to my email in About section on the channel so I can take them and post in the community tab of the channel so we inspire all followers of this channel. Try it now, from today, and good luck to all. I love you all.
Tonight, we will discuss states. When we open the Bible and read the story as it's given to us, we may think we are talking about people that lived, individuals, persons that, as we are, but it's not so. The characters depicted in the Bible are not the individuals named. They are simply states signified by those names. For instance, the name Moses, or the name Abraham, or the name, well, any name that you find in Scripture. They are not individuals, as you and I are. It's simply a state of consciousness through which the individual, you and I, the immortal being, we pass through these states. The word Moses means to be born. It's the old perfective of the Egyptian verb to be born. Abraham, the father of the multitudes. We start there, moving through states. And you and I pass through these states towards our own redemption. We come to the end, and that state is personified in Scripture. And men take the personification and worship it as a person, stick it on the wall, and then cross themselves before it and genuflect, not knowing that these are states. So we must learn to distinguish between states and the individuals who pass through these states. These states are eternal. They are forever. You are an immortal being, and you move through states. The states remain permanent forever. You pass on. We change states. The states do not change. We change states. But we, the individual, we are forever. It's like moving through a city. The city remains, but we pass on. To think that because we have left the city, that the city has ceased to exist would be stupid. The city remains, and we go on. We pass from one state to another state, and finally we come to the end. That end is described in Scripture as Jesus. But that's a state. You are the immortal being passing through states. And when you come to the very end, you are in that state. It was predetermined. It was shown all of us before we started. Shown us in the state called Abraham. We saw it all in detail. And if we entered it reluctantly or not, Who knows? Paul tells us that we were made subject unto futility, not willingly, but by the will of him who subjected us in hope. And the hope was that we would obtain the glorious liberty of the sons of God. So we were told that it was not altogether a willing subjection on our part, but we kept the divine vision, as Paul said, in time of trouble. And so we continue on the journey. In this world, you and I can create states, but the spiritual states are eternal. We create a state here, it's not eternal. We create a state to deliver individuals forevermore. I create a state, somebody asked me, will you hear that I am, and they name what they would like to be. All right? So that I must create the state, knowing that he is now in a state that he dislikes. I must distinguish between the being and the state that he is in. So I see him unemployed. All right? So he's unemployed, and he wants to be gainfully employed. There's nothing wrong in that. So I represent him to myself as one who is gainfully employed, who has more than he's ever had before, to the degree that I am self-persuaded that he is what I have now imagined him to be. To that degree, he will actually become it. I move him out of one state into another. But that state into which he fell remains for anyone to fall into it. And all can fall into it at the same time, for that matter. He's not the only occupant of the state of being unemployed. There could be millions being unemployed. And there could be millions who desire to be out of it. Many who are unemployed have no desire to be out of it. They prefer to be on welfare. That's their desire. Perfectly all right. But if someone desires to be gainfully employed and to leave the state of being unemployed, you and I can create that state. Well, how do I create the state? By using my imagination. Imagination is not a state. It's the human existence himself. You are all imagination. And God is all imagination. You are God. And God is actually within you as your own wonderful human imagination. Now, these permanent states of the soul, these spiritual states, they remain. You and I pass through them towards our own redemption. But in the interval, we meet a friend, and the friend is in need of help. And the help is to move him out of the state. I couldn't give him money, but as Peter said, silver and gold have I not for thee, but such as I have give I unto thee. And he creates a state, and takes the man from being a beggar, who's always begging on the corner, and puts him into a state where he jumps up with joy. He's now employed, not begging for money. So he didn't give him coins, he simply gave him a new state of consciousness. So I take you as an individual. I represent you to myself as the one that you would like to be. The one that I, if I were in your state, would like to be. I make it fit within what is known as the golden rule. I do unto others as I would have them do unto me. If I were in that state, would I like to be in some better state? Certainly. Well then, do it to another. And so if he asks it of you, you simply represent him to yourself as being gainfully employed, or if he is unwell, as being well, or if he is not, if he wants to be married and he can't find the proper mate, then in your mind's eye you assume that he has found the proper mate. Whatever it is that is a normal, natural request that is not in conflict with your own moral, ethical code. And you create a state. This state, then you lift your individual into that state. Well, how do I do it? I carry on a conversation mentally with that friend from the basis that he is in that state. He tells me how happy he is with his new job and how much he's making. I see him in my mind's eye radiant. Well then, am I self-persuaded that this imaginal act is a fact? Do I really believe in the reality of what I've done? Do I believe that imagining creates reality? I do. Well then, to the degree that I am self-persuaded, he becomes the embodiment of what I've imagined him to be. These are states. So man must distinguish between the individual and the state that he is in. So Blake said, I do not consider the just or the wicked to be in a supreme state, but to be every one of them states of the sleep into which the soul may fall in its deadly dreams of good and evil, when it left paradise following the serpent of generation. So we came down to experience death, for this is the world of death, where everything appears, it waxes, it wanes, and it disappears. So everything dies in this world. No matter how long it seems to live, it dies eventually. So we come down into the world of death. And the last enemy to be destroyed or to be overcome is death. I enter death and then conquer death to prove that I cannot die. I am an immortal being, for I am all imagination.